the file is just like the biggest file ever. Hold on, there are 3 other people trying to get in, so let me let them in. Give me a second, guys. I think that's what's been throwing me off. Miranda has been telling me 1,000 times that I need to have someone else do that.
It's not too late. You can assign them right now.
Okay, I'm going to assign you right now. I'm going to let these 3 individuals, 4 individuals now, 5 individuals in. And then I'm going to pass this over to Miranda. And Miranda is a co-host. All right, let me make sure I'm good. Okay, so can you see my slide where it says, what is 1Voice credit repair?
Yes, sir.
Everybody see that? Okay, awesome. So again, just a breakdown of what it is that we're offering. We actually work with the credit bureaus as well as your creditors to challenge, negative items that's on your report, anything that would affect your credit score. Our objective is to get that stuff done. We do it in a very legal way. We follow the rules of the law. As a matter of fact, we're very conscious about using the laws against the credit bureaus and the creditors so that they'll follow a strict guideline in terms of what those laws should be. And this is one of the ways we actually help in terms of repairing and cleaning up your credit reports. Also, I'm going to show you today how we actually give you easy access to your account 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so that you can see what it is that we're working on in real time. Any changes, any updates, anything of that nature, you'll be able to see that through your client portal. I'll show you how that works in a second. We're also going to maximize your score so that you can achieve your goals, whether it's purchasing a house, whether it's purchasing a car, whether it's just getting a better rate on a loan. Credit is very, very important. And I didn't understand this back in the day. I didn't understand how important credit was. My partners and I shared this with you guys last week, but my partners and I, we got involved in an industry and we were blessed to make a lot of money and making money right away. And in doing so, we felt that, okay, we got a lot of money. We don't need credit. If we wanted to buy a car, we bought a car. If we wanted to buy a house, we bought a house. I didn't understand the game that the wealthy people play, which is, you don't actually use your principal. You leverage that and use other people's money. In other words, you don't spend your principal, but you leverage that through credit. And so that's been a lesson that I've learned over the years. And I think it's something for all of us as we move forward to understand how credit works and how it can benefit you and also benefit your potential clients. I want you to think about, as you're watching this presentation, think about it twofold. How does it affect you and how you're going to articulate it to your potential clients? It's a very, very simple process. The good thing for you as business owners is the fact that there's not a lot you can do because of the law. Okay, there's not a lot you can do. That's good, Miranda. I like how that works. It just, you just admit people, they just pop off my screen. I like that. So I'm gonna do this co-host thing for how they call it, henceforth now and forevermore. I'll be using the co-host thing. So anyway, we want to make sure you look at this presentation today from the standpoint of how can you utilize it, but then also you'll have the information to talk to potential clients. We certainly want to make sure we clean up your past. There's a lot of people who just have lingering little things, a cable bill, $20 from 4 or 5 years ago, just little things that can help clean up your past. Then we also want to track your present, see what's going on through our ID protection and credit monitoring services, make sure we're on top of everything, and then also change your future where you can actually leverage the money that you're going to make through 1Voice to create environments of success without actually spending the principal. You're leveraging the credit as opposed to leveraging the money, because you're going to make the money with 1Voice, but it's not so much how much you make, it's how much you keep. And so we'll show you how to make that happen. Okay. Now, here's the process. Now I'm going to go through and I want you guys, if you have something to write with, take notes. I'm going to be real meticulous about how I share this, because once you get this process, there's nothing else really to it. There's nothing else to it once you understand this process. So make sure you jot down some notes and make sure you're paying attention to this particular part. Also, if, what was I about to say? Well, it'll come back to me. Anyway, so let's just go through this process. Oh, I know what it was. There's an email that we sent to the squad that has an outline of the process, just a checklist of the process. If you don't have that checklist, just check with the person who brought you into the business, check with any of the leaders to make sure that they're forwarding this checklist to you, because again, it's a very, very simplistic approach to how to go about, building and following the process. So here's how it works. Make sure your screen catches up with mine. The very first thing, can you guys see it says, once you enroll, give me a thumbs up,
Yes.
raise your hand or something to that effect? Okay, great. Because I'm looking at another monitor and for whatever reason it's way behind. All right, so the credit repair process, the first thing is going to happen once you enroll, you'll receive an email within 24 hours with your secure login credentials. Okay, you'll get an email within 24 hours with your secure login credentials. This, what you're seeing here on the bottom of your screen is actually, it's an actual email. I just took a screenshot of a, test email. So you'll actually receive this email. Okay, that's the first thing after you've enrolled. I want you to mentally bear with me on or follow me on this process. So you've enrolled, you've gotten this email. This email basically saying, 1Voice Credit Repair, here's your login credentials for your secure client access. Then once you open that email, you'll just see this blurb from 1Voice Credit Repair. It just says, welcome to 1Voice Credit Repair. To access your account, please log into your secure portal and enter your membership credentials. So you just click here, and then you'll go into the portal. By the way, this is just a John Doe sample account, just so you get the gist of what we're talking about. Okay, so once you've click here now. Once you've gotten that, you're going to see this pop on your screen where it says set up your password. Very, very simple. You're going to set up your password. This is actually going to allow you to get into your portal. So you click that to set up your password. Then you're going to see an agreement. And let me just make this a little bit big for you so you can see this. You're going to see an agreement as soon as you put your password in. Very basic agreement, simple agreement. It just basically, it talks about what it is that we're looking to do. Let's see if it gets bigger. What it is that we're looking to do, what we're going to do. Your cost, as you can see here, is $99 at sign up, which is the first month, and then $49 per month after that until you're done or cancel or whatever the case may be. Okay, so that'll be that first agreement that you see. The bottom portion of the agreement is where you'll sign. Whatever your signature is, you just sign it there. You can do it with your mouse. Just take the time to kind of peruse through that agreement once you're enrolling. Once you're logging into your client portal. Again, not just so you'll understand from your own perspective as a customer, but also knowing what your potential clients can expect. Okay, so because if they ask you some questions, you'll at least know what they're referring to. It's not hard at all. You're going to see in a second. It's not difficult at all, but you still need to know this stuff. All right, the next thing is once you sign that agreement with your mouse, you're going to see this pop on your screen where it says, John, welcome to your client portal. You're now in your client portal and you're going to set this up, okay? Real simple. So once you click continue, the first thing we're going to ask you to do is you got to get your credit reports. Now I'm going to show you how to do that. It's very simple. I'm going to show you how to do it, but let me tell you why this is important. One of the things that I did not want to do when I set this entire thing up I didn't want the company to have access to it. Certainly, the representatives won't have access to it. None of us will have access to it. What I wanted to do with our software is be able to connect directly with the credit bureaus, Experience, Equifax, and TransUnion, and make sure that we're connected with our software to their software for API integration for privacy reasons. I think that's important. I also think it's important for you to make sure that you're letting know, well, you don't have any contact with their credit reports, and neither do we. That being kept, that's going to make it one more step for the clients in order to get us the report. And that's where what's going to happen is it's going to take you to a site called Identity IQ. Now, what this is a third-party credit monitoring company that I partnered with just so that we can, just for one simple reason, to be able to import the credit reports without us having to handle them. That's why I wanted to do this with Identity IQ, okay? Just so that you can get you can import the credit reports. Second, everybody, I'm having these issues again. I told you I don't think Zoom likes me. Everybody else it likes, but it don't like me for some reason. Okay. Just to make sure we're reconnected, can everybody see the Identity IQ screen? Give me a thumbs up or wave your hand.
No, we see the 1Voice credit repair, the first one.
Okay, let me.
Now we see the Identity IQ.
Now it's there.
Okay, okay. There's a drag for some reason. There's a serious delay, and that's what's causing the problem. But we'll forge ahead, no problem. Okay. So with this Identity IQ, it's real simple. All you're going to do is, where it says get yours, you're going to have to pay $1. The customer's going to have to pay $1. Okay? Pay $1, you're basically getting a trial subscription, 7 days. You know, make sure you cancel it before the 7 days, but it's just a trial subscription for $1. This is something that really, I wouldn't have to do, but the alternative would be the customer sending in credit reports to the company, we uploading that, and I just don't want to see nobody's credit report. I don't want to get into it. I think it's better for them to just pay the $1 and upload it into the system. And I'll show you how it all works. Now, once you've uploaded that into the system, okay, just by following the Identity IQ process, once that's uploaded into the system, we're going to just your signature on file.
Computer, and then you will upload it to the 1Voice system.
No, that's going to go, that's a good question. That's going to go directly into the 1Voice system once you have gone through the process with Identity IQ. What's going to happen is your login credentials, so to speak, will allow us to actually access that information through Identity IQ. And again, what that will do is it'll allow us to not have to actually, or the customer, to actually have to do anything other than create this account with Identity IQ. And then our software, because we partner with Identity IQ, we can actually sync through the integration without the customer having to do anything else. Okay? So that's a good question. And again, I want y'all to make sure you understand that what you're seeing today, and even though that's a good question, but what you're seeing today is literally exactly everything that the customer will do, okay? Is everything that the customer will do. So they'll upload that to their system, to the Identity IQ system. They'll be directed to sign here. You put your name, it'll already be there. You just select which signature you want. It doesn't matter, just an e-signature. The next thing that happens is we're going to need 2 bits of information that we have to send to the credit bureau for the customer. We're going to need a copy of the driver's license. Now, once again, we're not getting this information directly. What happens is you see this tab that says upload image using computer. You can take a picture of your ID or whatever the case may be. You can take a picture and just upload it right here by clicking this button. Okay, just upload it by clicking the button. By law, we cannot handle these details. And in fact, I don't want to handle them anyway. So the customer is uploading a copy of this stuff because we have to submit this with your dispute letters. I'll talk about that in a second, but we have to have that to send in to the credit bureaus. Okay, so you click that and upload, and it has to be a picture. It can't be a PDF, can't be a document. It has to be an image, an actual picture. So if you have to take that with your phone, there's no problem. This whole process, by the way, doesn't take no more than 5 minutes. So, okay, you upload that. Now, once you upload it, you'll see your driver's license here. That'll tell you you've done it correctly. Now, that ain't me. That's just a sample of someone's driver's license. But you can see it there. Now, if something happens and, it doesn't look right or smeared or whatever, you can always delete it and re-upload it. Okay. Not only will you upload the driver's license, but you also have to upload some type of proof of address, whether that's a utility bill, bank statement, insurance statement, cell phone bill, just something that has your proof of address on it. You'll take a picture of that, not the whole thing, just one page is sufficient, and upload that as well right here. Okay, just take a picture and click the upload button, and you'll see a copy of your utility or proof of address right here.
Dr. Orm.
And guess what, yes, sir.
In that, with the utility part, can someone take a picture of, let's say, I don't know, AT&T, and they got the name and address on the envelope, or would you have to actually upload the actual first page of the bill or something to that effect?
Yeah, any type of bill, utility statement, utility bill, you see here, bank statement, insurance statement, cell phone bill. If you could look at this 4th bullet point, it says something official addressed to you at the address you've given us. So anything that's addressed to you, something official, of course, that shows the address that you've given us. What the credit bureaus are doing, they're just making sure that this is legit. That's all. And it can be any of those type of bill statement, anything like that. Okay.
I have a quick
Once
question.
you've yes.
Sorry. No, I just wanted to know, is this step also with the uploading going to be applicable for the identity protection or no?
I'll tell you, I'll go over that in a second. In one second.
Okay.
Okay. So now that you've done that, your utility bill, your driver's license, and those other documents, you'll see them here in the left in the background. Guess what, guys? The customer's done. The customer is done. There's nothing else for the customer to do. The customer is done. Now think about it. Let's kind of recap this for a second with the process for the customer. They get a welcome letter, email, I should say. They get an email. Once they've enrolled, they get an email. This email has their login credentials to the portal. Once they log into the portal, they're going to sign an agreement, basically giving us permission to fight on their behalf. Then they're going to sign, put their signature on there, electronic signature. Then they're going to upload a driver's license and a utility bill or some type of proof of address. And then, of course, I skipped the part where they're actually going to upload the credit report. And that's it. That's all the customer going to do. They're going to upload 3 things and sign. Any questions on this part before I go into the identity protection part? But any question on this part of the process? I want to make sure everybody is clear on it. Any questions on this part of the process?
Yeah. Do you upload all of them at the same time, or like I know we do the credit, the 3 credit reports first. But can we do that at the end when we do the license and our utility?
It's gonna, it'll walk you through the process. Let me see if I can go back real quick. Okay, can you see on this left, it's behind this screen, but it's the 6 steps the customer have to do, welcome steps, so forth and so on.
Right.
So
Yeah.
the software is going to walk you through this step by step. And once you've done it, it's going to check it off. If for whatever reason you skip one of the steps, it just won't check it off until it's done. And you may have seen somewhere at the top of the screen where it says progress 100%. It'll just basically say 85% done. And it'll alert us at 1Voice that you need to upload your driver's license or whatever it may be. So you can skip the steps, but they're so simple and easy. And again, this whole process only takes about 5 minutes, assuming you take a picture of your license and stuff. But if you skip a step, it's no big deal.
Okay.
And let me make sure I'm clear. I'm saying it's no big deal. We'll know that you skipped a step. We just can't move forward until you complete it, until this bar says 100%.
Correct.
Okay. Any other question on the customer part? That's good. Okay. No questions. Now we're going to get into the company part. This is what 1Voice Credit Repair is actually doing. So we're going to do an analysis of the credit report, and we're going to send that analysis to the client. So here's how that works. If you recall, you uploaded your credit report through Identity IQ. So if you're looking at your screen, I mean, everybody look at your screen. So if you're looking at your screen, now, mind you, this stuff, I'm giving it to you just like one bam, bam, bam. Some of this stuff can take days or even weeks, depending upon how quickly the client does it. But this is still the process. Now, our software, as you see, it's going to auto import your information from Identity IQ. You see it says connecting to Identity IQ. Again, this just to let you know that we're not actually handling the credit report. We're taking our software and extracting what we need from Identity IQ. So we connect to Identity IQ software, and we extract what we need. We know what we need. We won't tell y'all, but we know what we need to do what we got to do. Then we assess the data that we're receiving. We do an assessment of that data. And basically, once we assess that data, we analyze that data through our software. I'm talking about 1Voice software. We analyze that data. So we've taken the data from Identity IQ, we've assessed what we've taken, and we analyze it. Once we've analyzed that data, then we actually can create a credit analysis report for your client. That's what this data says. Okay, this is a credit analysis report for your client. You can see prepare for John Doe, blah, blah, blah. Let me go to the next page. I'm going to make these pages bigger as I get to them so that you can read them a little bit better. And basically this says, hey, John Doe, on behalf of 1Voice Credit Repair, I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome you as a new client. We are thrilled to have you with us, blah, blah, blah. Here's the things that we've done in terms of the analysis that we're sending to you or sending to your clients. These are the 5 things that we're doing. A credit score basics. I'm going to go through all of this. Your credit scores and the summary, an analysis of your accounts, your actual accounts, an overview of our process and your part in the process. So this is what we're actually doing in the analysis. Now, the first thing is we're just going to give you just a basic score, credit score basics. Just in other words, some education on what credit scores are and why they are important. Okay. Not because with our credit repair product, not only are we repairing credit, but we're also consulting our clients on what's best for them to kind of maintain good credit. All right. So here's the analysis. If you look at this, person A, they got a 730 credit score. That's a good score. Okay. Person B, their credit score is 599. That's not so good. Now, if each one of these individuals wanted to purchase this brand new car for $23,000, and this is just an example, okay? A person with a good credit score, their interest rate will be 1.99 on average. Person with a bad credit score is 14.99. That is an incredible increase just for having, that bad credit. Look at the payments. Person with the good credit will pay $368. Person with the bad credit will pay $513 for the exact same car. So we're educating your client on why it's important for them to fix their credit. And again, be mindful that this is live data. This is not just something off the internet. This is live data just that we're submitting in an analysis based on their own credit report. Okay, so person B is going to pay $9,600 more for the same car just because they had bad credit. Just because they had bad credit. That's the importance of having good credit. And the same thing happens with your credit cards, your mortgages, your loans, and anything else that you have to be credit worthy. It can be incredibly taxing financially if you have bad credit. And a lot of people really take it for granted. Oh, I got a 500 credit score. Oh, I got a 600 credit score. Well, you don't know that that's really costing you a lot of money. It keeps you from getting wealthy because you can never get ahead. You can never really get ahead. That's why when people say you have a credit card and you pay the minimum balance, it's like it doesn't go down because the interest rate is just as high as what you're paying. All right, so just keep that in mind. The next thing is, the next page is, I'm not going to make this page bigger because it's just information, but it just tells your customer what is a credit bureau, what's good and what's not good in terms of keeping your credit up to par. For example, it says your payment history, that's 35% of your credit score. So that's the bulk of your credit score, your payment history. If you don't pay on time, your credit history is going to suffer greatly. And then, of course, your what they call capacity or the amount owed is just, are you owed too much in debt? That kind of thing. That's 30%, so forth and so on. So all this page is just information for your client. Same thing for this next page is just information for your client. It tells you, if you know your credit score, you're going to know it because it's going to be in this report. If your credit score is 580 to 619, that means it's poor. Okay. And this will tell you, with poor credit, blah, 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 you can still get unsecured stuff, but you're going to pay more, so this is part of the educational process. This next page though, and I'm going to make it bigger because it's important. This next page is actually giving your client real live data as it stands on that particular day. Here's what we're saying from 1Voice. We have analyzed your credit reports from the 3 major bureaus, and here's what we found. Here are our findings. These credit scores, now mind you, this is just a sample, but their credit scores will be right here. Their actual credit scores will be there. You can see here, it say these scores were reported by Identity IQ on such and such day. Okay, so if it was today, these are your credit scores as of today. Okay, very important for your customer to know. What this page also shows is a summary of your derogatory information that's on your credit report. For example, here, you don't have any delinquencies, but you got 5 derogatory items on your Equifax, 6 on Experian, 6 on TransUnion. These are the things in red that we're going to start to work on. Okay, that's important for the customer to know. So they're going to see these are some of the bad things on your credit report we got to fix. This next page, it just breaks that down even further for the customer. This is important for you to know. Customer, client, you have 20 items marked as delinquent or derogatory. Okay, recent late payments, collections, and other derogatory items within the last 6 months, they're going to hurt you the most. But this particular sample or your customer, let's just say John Doe is your customer, your client, has 20 derogatory items on their credit report. These are the 20 things that we want to attack. Now, I want you to understand this real clearly. What we're going to submit from 1Voice Credit Repair, we're only going to submit 5 disputes at a time. 5 disputes. This particular client has 20 things that need to be disputed, but we're only going to submit 5 at a time. There's something in the credit repair world called frivolous disputes. When you go beyond 5 disputes at a time, the credit bureaus can flag your account as frivolous. I'll show you where that is in the legalities in a second. But we don't want your account to be flagged as frivolous, so we're only going to submit 5 at a time. Now, this is something you have to think about. If your customer has 20 or 30 or 50 items that need to be disputed, you guys do realize that that's going to take some months to clean up, right? Because we can only dispute 5 at a time. Otherwise, it's going to be kicked out as frivolous. So we know that they're going to be on the credit repair process for a little bit longer. That's not our fault. There's nothing we can do. They just got 50 things that need to be fixed. We can't do all 50 at one time. Otherwise, it's going to do more harm than good. Okay, so just keep that in mind as you know, we go forward. You won't see this. Your customer will know though, and we'll make sure that we communicate and converse with them to let them know through their client portal. These are the 5 things we're going to dispute right now. We'll educate them why. They'll see in their client portal where it talks about a frivolous dispute. We don't want to get into that. Okay, so this is just a snapshot of all of the things that's on this person's credit report that's negative. Wells Fargo, Capital One, and it talks about when it happened and what it is. You'll see all of that stuff. The customer see all of that stuff. Cable bill, DirecTV, Comcast Cable, something from North Carolina Financial, whatever that is. They'll see that. All right, the next page on their analysis is just basically what's good, you know, or what's still in good standing. These are just some inquiries. They're in blue because inquiries, unless they're over 2 years, are they supposed to drop off in 2 years or less, or 2 years or more anyway. So they'll drop off. Right now in this sample, these are not old, so they're not hurting your credit so much. All right, the next page, it just shows you or shows your customer their credit utilization. So if they have credit cards or whatever, now there's not a lot here because this is a sample, but if they have credit cards and all this stuff, it'll just basically show their card limit, you know, what's open. A lot of this is zeros because this is just sample data, but all of the customers' accurate data will be right here. And it also gives explanations as to how this affects their credit. Okay. And then last but not least on this page, it will, on this report document, it'll give a summary of all of your accounts, all of your open balances as it relates to all of the credit bureaus. So in this particular sample, you know, they owe $39,000 to Equifax, $24,000 to Experian, $24,000 to TransUnion. And you, of course, you know, some bureaus may be different because in some parts of the country, they don't report to all 3 bureaus, depending upon what you get. So sometimes those numbers will be off, but that's to your benefit. So they're going to see this. Your client is going to see this in their credit report. Again, it's a part of their analysis. And the only thing that we'll want you to do as a part of your process, and we're talking about the client now, is to log into your client portal. We just showed you how to do that. And just watch a 2-minute video. That's it, just a 2-minute video. And of course, you've already done all of this stuff, provided your ID, and you've done all of that. The only thing you have to do is watch a 2-minute video. And in fact, I think it's on the credit repair website, so you don't even have to watch that. So there's nothing for you to do right now. Now, how you can speed up the process, stop applying for credit while we're working on it. Each time you apply for credit, it lowers your score. So let us kind of do what we're doing if you can. You know, that'll speed up the process. It's not to say you can't do it. It'll just, you know, we're going to get alerts and it's going to kind of slow down the process, but that's up to the customer. Don't close any accounts during the process because, again, that will lower your score. We'll let you know when and the what's just based on what we're noticing, but that'll speed up the process for you. Pay your credit cards down if you can to below 25% of the available credit. So in other words, if you got a $1,000 line of credit, try to keep it around $250. I know that's counterproductive. They give you these credit cards and don't want you to use it, but it is what it is. That just affects your credit score. Okay, same thing here. Never spend more than 25% of the available credit. That makes your credit score go lower the more you spend. Some people max it out. If you can get it below 25%, that'll help you greatly with your credit scores. So again, if you got $1,000 credit card, try to keep it around at $250 and below. Okay, pay your bills on time. That goes without saying, and keep your credit monitoring active throughout the process. The great thing for the 1Voice credit repair customers is all of your credit monitoring will be active because we're giving that to you for free. Okay, all of the credit repair monitoring, all the credit repair customers, we're giving you the monitoring for free, and that's a $30 value. So that's going to be monitored anyway. And 7, most importantly, it says we'll be sending many letters to the bureaus. We're going to send a lot of letters back and forth, fighting on your behalf. Be sure to open all of the mail and forward that information to us. Now, when I say forward it to us, all you got to do, and again, this is right back in your portal, is just take a picture and click upload, and we'll get it. We'll get it. You don't have to mail it. You don't have to send it. If the credit bureau send you something, just make sure you just take a picture and go in your portal and upload it to us. That'll give a second layer of making sure that our stats are up to date with what you have. And if there's anything we need to follow up with, the quickest way to follow up, because they're going to always contact the customer first, because they're going to try to get over. So they're always going to try to contact the customer first so that the customer don't do what they're supposed to do. But we're representing you. So you just send that stuff to us via your portal and let us take it from there. If we need to send a follow-up round of letters, if we need to send some kind of legal document, whatever we need to do, we're prepared to do that. We just need to know, and we need you to send that information to us, okay? And that's it. That's it on that, the credit analysis. That's it on the credit analysis. You'll receive an email once we've done the credit analysis that just basically saying, hey, John, hopefully you can see this on your screen, but hey, John, with the help of the Federal Trade Commission enforcing the fair credit reporting, blah, 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 we're basically saying these are the things that we're disputing for you right now. These are the things that we're disputing for you. And remember, we're only going to dispute 5 at a time, just so that there's no flag for being frivolous disputes, okay? So we send you an email letting you know, and this also is in your client portal that I showed you a few minutes ago. All right, before I go any further, any questions on that part? Any questions on anything I just said about what 1Voice is doing? So we talked about what the customer is doing. Okay, Stanley, your hand is raised. Go ahead.
Yes, I just wanted to ask this question. If a customer has more than, like you said, more than 5 or 10 or however many that the company will dispute, my question is, can you repeat, is there a particular order that the company will go in terms of the first 5, the second 5, so on and so forth? And part 2 of that is, how long before the company submits the second 5?
Okay, that's a good question. So 2 good questions. On the first part, what was the first part? Y'all know how I lose my train of thought.
Which 5 will go first?
Okay. Let me answer that first. Which 5 go first? What we do is, if you notice, you got the 3 bureaus. Some bureaus, that item is reported to all 3 bureaus. Some items are just reported to 2 credit bureaus. Some items are reported to just 1 credit bureau. What we'll do in terms of order, we'll send it to the ones that have some type of negative inquiry on the 3 credit bureaus first, because we're killing 3 birds with 1 stone. So if you have a cable bill that's on all 3 credit bureaus, that would be one of the things that we would dispute first. If you have something that's just at 1 credit bureau, we'll say that for later, because you'll maximize the efforts by going through all credit bureaus, because that's still just one item that's being disputed. Does that make sense? So we'll start with the
Yes,
three
sir.
credit bureaus, and we'll go down from there. Also, we'll also look at the things that are most damaging. And when I'm saying we'll look at it, again, all of this stuff is done through AI, artificial intelligence, through our software. But I'm just saying, look at it for lack of better words. But the things that are affecting your credit scores the most, those would be the things that we'll report first. Okay, if your cable bill is dropping your credit score 10 points, and you have a loan that's dropping at 50 points, we want to attack that loan first. So we go in order of how many bureaus and what's affecting it the most. Okay, that's the order we'll send to 5. Now, what the second part of the question is, when you said what would determine when we send the second 5, it is basically if one is deleted or fixed or changed or updated, as soon as that one is done, we'll replace it with another one. And so we'll just keep doing that until they're all done. Okay, if for whatever reason around the same time frame 5 things get cleared up, we'll send the next 5. Or if one thing get cleared up, then we'll send the next thing. We'll keep doing that. But again, our software kind of monitor that to do the best thing that's the thing that's most important for the customer. Okay, somewhere in there, I didn't see it. It was on one of the screens, but I passed by it. But you'll see as you read through this documentation that I just showed you, somewhere in there, it talks about frivolous disputes. That's actually a legal term called frivolous disputes. And when you send more than 5, or, you start sending 10, 15, 20 at a time, your account can be flagged for frivolous disputes. So that's important for you to know, because your client may say, well, why don't you just go and dispute it all right now? It'll make it quicker and I can pay less money. That's possible, but it's also possible that your account can be flagged for frivolous disputes and the whole thing get thrown out, So I'm real sticky or particular about following the letter of the law. I'm real particular about following the letter of the law. Okay. Any other questions on either the customer process or 1Voice process?
Yes.
Any questions?
I do, Dr. Orm. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. I have a question on the identity IQ. So we want to make sure our customers stay happy. If they don't cancel after they pay their dollar within the 7 days, what fees are they going to potentially get hit with? And at what point should we instruct them to cancel that so that we get what we need on the 1Voice side and we don't interrupt that process?
Yeah, that's a good point. I would give it a couple of days and just cancel it. I wouldn't even wait to 7 days. If you wait because identity IQ, that has nothing to do with 1Voice per se, other than the fact that we're extracting data from their system. So they have their own credit stuff. They have their own things that they're doing, and they're trying to sell something as well. We're not interested in that because we have our own. But that 7-day trial period, all we really need is that login. All we need is the one time they've logged in. And once they log in, our system is going to connect through API integration with Identity IQ. We're extracting that information. We have the credit report, and that's actually what we need. That's what the dollar is for. As I was saying earlier, I really wish I didn't have to do that step. But the alternative to that, and this is what you want to make the customers understand, the alternative to that, they would actually have to send in their credit reports for us to upload that stuff. And I really don't want anybody seeing anyone's credit report. So if they don't do it themselves, they have to send it to us to do it. And we can do it, by the way. We can skip that. We can bypass that step if we wanted to, and we can actually physically upload their credit report. I just don't want anybody on the staff, anybody seeing anyone's credit report. That's just my own personal thing. So the solution that I came up with that is to partner with Identity IQ, pay the dollar, let us get the data, and you can cancel within that first 7 days. I hope that makes sense. Yes, Miranda.
If the person already, let's say, had already put their credit report within the past, let's say 60 days or so, so it's pretty fresh, and they already had a copy of their own, or had it in an email from something else, they can go ahead and just upload it through the portal on their own? Would it be as effective or no? You want it fresh?
Nah,
Okay.
it's not so much fresh. It's not so much that I want it fresh. I just don't want nobody eyeballs on nobody credit report. That's what it boils down with for me. It's not so much that it's fresh, because even if they've ordered that report, even if they have a report, they can upload it through the portal. Yes, they can do that, but that means somebody on 1Voice's end will have to see their credit report, and I just don't want that. I just personally don't want that. I would prefer them pay $1 and just put this stuff so it going into from the Identity IQ system to our system, and nobody physically has to actually see somebody's credit report.
Okay, makes sense. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Laura.
Any other questions? Yes.
Well, I don't really have a question, but just to make people aware, I've done that free trial for $1, not through this company, but even after you call and cancel, make sure you double check and make sure that they don't charge you, because it can happen.
Yeah. That goes without saying. That goes without saying. Any trial offer, anything. I did one recently with Adobe software, and always when I cancel them, I just screenshot the screen and cancel it, because if they play funny like they didn't cancel it or anything, you know, I got a screenshot. Yeah, I did cancel. Now with Identity IQ, they're not an official partner with us like Allstate, but trust me, if anything crazy come, you know, I got the phone number of the owner. We're not going to have any issues with them. We want it to run smoothly, but if something happens, something pop up, let us know. We're not going to have any kind of, you know, I want this thing to run as smoothly as possible. But any kind of trial offer you have, whether it's Identity IQ or Netflix or anybody, you cancel it and you make sure you have documentation. You just got to do that. Any other questions on the customer process or the 1Voice process? Okay, this last piece I want to talk about is the partnership with not Identity IQ, with Allstate, because this is the ID protection portion of it. Okay, as we talked about last week, now this is an official partnership. Some of you may have already, because we already got some people who signed up for this Allstate partnership, and I saw some more people signed up today. Congratulations. You've probably already gotten an email from Allstate on behalf of 1Voice. So that email will say something to the effect of, you know, this, and I'm paraphrasing, this is Allstate, or it may even say, what's the name of it? Private Armor. As I mentioned to you last week, Allstate recently purchased Private Armor, which is the largest credit monitoring bureau in the country. It's all going to be branded Allstate by the beginning of the year, but Allstate and Private Armor are in this transition right now. It's the same thing. Allstate bought Private Armor. So you're going to get an email saying basically either from Allstate or Private Armor saying, welcome, you know, from your partners at 1Voice, or our partners at 1Voice. You know, here's a link to go in and do your stuff. And basically, it'll show you how to do your credit monitoring, your dark web monitoring, all the things that we talked about. It'll actually show you how to do that for those of you who signed up. I don't have screenshots of all of that. It's too much stuff for today's training, but it's real simple. They basically send you that link, and it just gives you access to see what you have, set up your stuff in Allstate the way you want it. For example, I'll give you an example because I've done mine, and I know several other people have done theirs too. You may, and I'm just using this for example, you may not want to have them monitor the dark web for anything. If you don't want it, you don't have to select it. It's up to you. Okay. I don't know why you wouldn't, but you know, you may not want them to monitor that. Or, you know, again, I'm just using this as an example. You may not want them to monitor social media on your behalf. You don't have to select that. What they do with social media is if people, you know, saying something malicious about you or something crazy or posting stuff that probably shouldn't be posted, they'll send you an alert and say, hey, look, you know, are you aware that somebody is disparaging your name? And if you are, great. If not, then they'll fix it or help you fix it. But you'll go into the Allstate portal and basically say, I do want you to monitor this, or I don't want you to monitor this. It's all up to you. I just want you to know you have access to every single thing that you see on your screen right now. Monitoring to all 3 credit bureaus, $1 million in reimbursement insurance, not $1 million, up to $1 million in reimbursement insurance, credit score tracking, credit freeze assistance, ID monitoring, all of this stuff. You have access to all of this once you sign up for the the ID protection plan. You have access to all of this stuff. They're going to enroll you. They're going to monitor everything. This is Allstate now. They're going to alert you if anything happens. And if anything is, you know, happens to your identity or any ID theft, anything like that, they'll restore that and they'll reimburse you up to $1 million. So these are the things that Allstate is going to do on our behalf. Okay, they have a secure system. Everything that we do is totally secure. I've spent a lot of time and money to make sure that all of our systems are, you know, 256-bit encryption or higher. You know, bank level encryption, even the forms that you submit, any documentation, because we're in the protection business now. And because we're in the protection business, I want to make sure our stuff is super protected. So we spend a lot of time and money and effort to make sure our stuff is super protected. And again, these are all the things that Allstate will be doing on our behalf. Now, write this down. I gave it to you last week, but I want you to write this URL down for your customers, because this is a good way to introduce your customers to the potential that they have already been exposed. It's only about 3 minutes. Most of you took this test last week. It takes only about 3 minutes, and it's just going to ask you some questions to see if you have already been exposed. That URL is InfoArmor, INFOARMOR, InfoArmor.com/DFA. And just if somebody wanted to know, that stands for digital footprint analysis. So InfoArmor.com/DFA. They can take that 3-minute test. There's no obligation, there's no cost, nothing like that. And it'll tell them if they've been exposed. This will give you an idea if you need to do something about your, you know, ID, because it's out there. Okay, so jot that down. And here are the costs. Last but not least, here are the costs. If you're a credit repair, as you know, credit repair customer, the first month is $99. That's when we do the most work. And then subsequent months is $49 a month. Okay, $99 first month, $49 subsequent months. The identity protection standalone, so you can get all of this Allstate identity protection stuff for $29.99 per month. That's it, just no $99, just $29.99 per month. That's a standalone product. Now keep in mind, if you are a 1Voice credit repair customer, we're giving you the identity protection for free. As long as you are a customer on the $49 side, you're going to get the $29 side for free. At some point, if you don't want the $49 side anymore and you just want the identity protection, it's going to be $29.99. Or if any of your clients just want the identity protection, their credit is fine, they don't need to do anything with their credit, it's just going to be $29.99. That's it. Okay, that's it. So that's everything, guys, with the credit repair, the ID protection, the customer process, the company process, and the follow-up. That's everything there is. The only other thing I can say is the dispute letters that we're sending off, and let me just shut this down so I can see everybody's faces again. The dispute letters that we're sending off, they're very comprehensive in terms of, you know, letting them know that we're speaking on your behalf. We want to dispute these items. Here's the law. saying that, you know, this is why we're disputing this. This gives us the right to do this on behalf of the customer. We're going to do a ton of letters. We have some letters that's called round one. That's the first round of letters that we do in the first month. That's why I say that that month costs the most money. And then when the credit bureaus send back, they may say something to the effect of, this debt is verified. This is verified. They owe this debt. We send another round of letters saying, okay, you said it's verified. How did you verify it? Because the other part of the law says you can't just say this is verified. Now you got to prove how you verified it. And most companies, this is where they drop the ball. They don't follow the process, the proper process of verifying information before they put it on someone's credit report. And then that's when we say, no, you can't do that. That's against the law. That's when they have to remove it. So we keep sending these letters and disputes until either we get it off, deleted, repaired, fixed, or whatever the case may be. But we'll do that on the behalf of the customer. Any question? There's nothing else to it, but are there any questions I can answer?
I have a question, Mr. Orr.
Yeah.
When you was talking about the social media monitoring, is that including like cash apps?
I think cash apps would go under there's a credit and debit card monitoring. It still qualifies, but it's not under social media. It's under credit and debit card monitoring. And the answer is yes.
Okay.
Any other question?
I had a statement. I don't have a question, but so the hardest part, I guess, if you say from a customer standpoint, would be for them basically to upload those 3 documents, if you will. And that would be the hardest part.
Yeah.
And then from there, the company or the software will take it over from there to make sure that everything is flowing where it's supposed to flow.
Not even the hardest part. That's basically the only part. That's the only thing they have to do. I mean, you know, obviously there may be some follow-up, you know, just by uploading something that come in the mail, but that's all they have to do. We just need all we need to go to work is their credit report. If you simplifying this to the nth degree, all we need is their credit report, their ID, and proof of address. That's all we need. Then we can go to work. I'm just showing you the entire scope of it all, so you're educated on what we're doing and why we're doing it. Because again, like Miranda was referencing, yeah, we could get the report on a variety of ways, but I'm going through all of this stuff that we're doing so y'all will know what we're doing and why I decided to do it this way. You know, trying to protect the interests of the customer. But at the end of the day, we just need, like you said, those 3 things: credit report, ID, and proof of address. We send that in with our official letters. That's all they have to do.
Okay, I have a question. I had asked about the uploading of the docs for the identity protection. Then also I'd like to know about for the identity protection. Do you need? Hold
on 1 second, Ms. Akbar. I'm sorry. You did ask me that, and I said I'd get to it. I didn't want to lose that thought on that. The answer to that first question. So all of the information that you fill out on the initial form, that's on the 1Voice Credit Repair website, we have all the information we need to submit for your ID protection. So you don't have to do anything else.
Oh, okay, because then also I'll go back and look at that then, because I wanted to make sure, based on what we were just talking about, the social media and the various other things, is it necessary to do that dollar credit report or whatever that was for $1? I forgot the name of the company that just goes to. Do we need to do that just to have it? And then do you just need to have the 3 credit reports for the identity protection? Because a lot of times, if there's something, you know, derogatory or somebody bothered your credit report or identity, it would have been on the credit report. Because I had a situation years ago, something like that happened. Somebody else.
Yeah, no, you only need that $1 from Identity IQ for the credit report part. Once we got that information, and this is the beauty of the partnerships that we have. Once we have that information, we can kind of sync with Allstate and Identity IQ. We can kind of sync that stuff. You don't have to do any more information, anything else. We'll take all that information, and then you'll be monitored. You'll get access to credit reports annually from Allstate. Anything changes on your credit report, so you get all that stuff is included in your Allstate ID protection plan. It's included in there.
All right, thank you.
I have a question.
Any other questions? Yes,
I
Linda.
have a question. Is there any help for someone that may have filed bankruptcy?
Well, it's no help other than the fact that if it's something erroneous, we can help fix it on the credit reports. Our hands are tied legally in terms of doing anything. We don't even see certain things. So someone asked this week, can we negotiate on their behalf for the customer? No, we can't do any of that for legal reasons. We're not licensed to do that. The only thing we can do is fix stuff that's wrong or reported wrong or correct stuff like that. If a bankruptcy didn't fall off the credit report in a timely manner, or if the information was put on erroneously, we can fix those things, but we don't have license to either negotiate or, reduce bills or do anything other than fix, or as we say, repair the credit and then monitor moving forward.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else? Any questions? All right, so y'all excited about this? I hope you are, because we put a lot of time and effort and, money and headache and resources into it. I want everybody to take advantage of it, because this is something that everybody needs, can use. I can tell you the industry standards in terms of cost are much, much higher. A lot of companies that are doing the same thing that we're doing, there's $800 up front and $99 a month. Even outside of 1Voice, I think I'm going to charge $99 up front and $99 a month just for Joe Blow off the street, just because our prices are so low. I'm doing the absolute best I can to bring the best plans and packages to you, but I need you guys to take advantage of it, to utilize it and go out and do it. There's some people charging $2,000 and $3,000 up front, $5,000 up front to do what we're doing. And a lot of those individuals are not following the law. So if you're not following the law, that stuff can come back. You can come back on your credit report because they're doing shady stuff. The way we're doing it, we're going right to the sources, right to the credit bureaus. We're going right to the sources so that there's no double jeopardy. Once it's off, it can't come back. There's no shady business. We don't want to see your stuff. We don't want to handle your stuff. We're costing it low so everybody can take advantage of it. We're doing everything that we possibly can to service our clients in the best possible manner. And y'all have to be able to convey that message. If they don't believe us, just start doing research on other companies. They're going to see how high it is. Even with the Identity IQ company that we're partnered with, their monitoring is about the same as ours, a little bit cheaper, but they're only giving like $25,000 in terms of reimbursement, and they only have 1/3 of the things that we're offering for $29. And in fact, we're giving that away for free with our credit repair customers. I'll give you all a little insight, and I'm gonna let you go real quick. Why I did it this way from a 1Voice rep standpoint. It's easy. It would have been easier for me to just do the credit repair. That's easier for the systems, everything. But here's how I'm thinking as a business owner, and I want y'all to think of this as business owners as well. What happens after 2 months, 3 months, 4 months when your client's credit is repaired? Well, they don't need the service anymore. If they drop the service, if you had 10 clients that were paying the $49 a month, your personal volume, your PV is $490 a month, right? Y'all with me on that? Okay, shake your head, thumbs. Okay, so your PV is $490 a month. Well, what happens when those clients, their credit is fixed and they don't need it anymore? That $490 goes to zero. your PV is 0. That's not how I want to treat the reps. I had experience like that before in a previous company where you became a victim of your success, and I didn't think that was cool. I didn't think that was cool at all. So I thought long and hard, how could I sustain personal volume for our reps beyond the credit repair? And I even spoke to Mr. Landrum about this. How can I actually sustain personal volume to some degree beyond the credit repair? And then I got this aha moment. Offer credit monitoring and ID protection to the customers. But you're offering it once they're off that credit repair, we're offering it at a cost. So now your $490 PV is still going to drop, but it'll drop to $300. Isn't that better than 0? That was my logic behind doing it this way. That
That's
was
a
my
lot
logic.
better.
Yeah,
you know
that was
what?
my
Also-
logic.
Yeah. Also, I saw that I Googled just for, investigative purposes. When you had mentioned last week that ours was very reasonably priced, it definitely is. Because everybody else is charging that upfront more than $100. They're talking about several $100s. Their monthly service fee is more than what you're charging. And if you're giving someone that free product, that's exceptional, and especially since they need to keep it. ID protection is something right now in 2020, because of all the various hackings that are going on, even, governmental and businesses, your own private personal can be, especially with social media. So it's worth it. And then, like you said, we'll be able to have that as a PV as well. So that's powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was my logic behind that, so that your PV wouldn't drop to 0. People lose qualifications. They're going to get discouraged. They're going to quit the business because you're going from Crown Ambassador to Royal Ambassador just based on the fact that your PV or, in your entire organization is dropping. So that's why I did it that way. And that's why it's important for you guys to not just look at this from a customer standpoint. You got to look at it from a business standpoint as well, that encourage your people to get these products, because you're going to benefit from it from the 1Voice worldwide side. I see Mr. Mabry's hand and I see Stanley's hand. Mr. Robert Mabry?
Yes, sir. We just started seeing commercials down here that have the credit report company, and their prices are a little bit higher than ours, but they're using the same colors and they're using pretty much the same fluid monitors and things on the commercials. So I was wondering if that's the outside connection of us.
No, it's not. But there are a lot of companies who are doing what we're doing now. The pandemic has forced a lot of people to kind of rethink some things, and credit and unemployment and all this stuff is really being affected through the pandemic. You're going to see a lot of people doing what we're doing, but you got to understand that the way I'm doing it that's in the best interest of the reps. When we do mainstream stuff, you may see mainstream commercials, you may see mainstream marketing that we're going to do from 1Voice Credit Repair, but you're going to see it greatly different. It's going to be more comparable to what's in the industry, $99 a month, or maybe a $199 up front, $99 a month, something like that. But that has nothing to do with 1Voice worldwide, because I want to keep this stuff. I want to give you the best opportunity to compete, period. That's what this is all about. Mr. Doucette, your hand was raised.
Yeah, I was just going to say, would you recommend that I would say everybody have at least a credit monitoring based on what's going on? I think like what Ms. Samira said, that everybody have the credit monitoring, regardless if that individual have a 780, 800 credit score. Would you recommend that everybody should at least have our identity protection, even if they don't get it with us, just have that protection for their benefit?
I would encourage everybody to do it, because technology is, people and stuff is getting, I'll tell you what, that's why I wanted you to do that test, that infoarmor.com test. It's already out there. Your stuff is out there. It's just a matter of if someone wants to do something malicious with it. But your stuff is out there. There's emails going around. My sister got one, and I got one as well. Then somebody said this, I'm paraphrasing the email. It says something to the effect of, we got your passwords, we know your password to, let's just say Yahoo is such and such. If you don't send $2,000, we're going to, basically do something malicious to your stuff. I'm paraphrasing the email. That stuff is out there. Of course, now that's some old people from Russia doing something crazy. But the fact of the matter is, they did have the password. They did have my password. So this stuff is out there. Take that InfoArmor test. Your stuff is out there. It's more important than ever to protect your stuff. And with these alerts, and especially with that $1 million reimbursement, up to $1 million reimbursement, that gives your customer some level of comfort if something malicious happens. Besides that, guys, you have to start thinking about you're in a business. Why not support your own business? It's not like it's something, it's not like I'm asking the guys to wear a wig, something that's outrageous. This is your business. Why wouldn't you support your own business first and foremost, especially with something that you need? So I'm encouraging everybody to do it. Don't forget, we got a $5,000 promotion that's going on. We've got a lot of people who've already, started putting customers in. So we're going to do that drawing on December the 19th. I can't wait. This is the first time we've given away money like that on just giving away on the screen. So all of these things, guys, are to your benefit. Anybody else? Question or comment? Anyone else? All right. So hopefully this training helped. Let's go to work this week. By the way, Tuesday night, I won't be doing the presentation. I'm strongly encouraging everybody to vote on Tuesday. Based on some of the time zones, it would conflict with the presentation, especially in the Central and West Coast time. So I'm not going to do the presentation at all. I prefer people to vote, exercise your right to vote if you haven't already. Do whatever you need to do. So we're not going to do a presentation on Tuesday, but remember Ms. Akbar on Monday and Wednesday at 1:30 during the day, and then Mr. Doucette on this upcoming Thursday. All right? All right, everybody, enjoy the rest of your Saturday. We're going to have a great day. Let's go out and make it happen and roll tide.
Mr. Landrum.
Did
He
Mr.
gonna beat you
Landrum
up.
say something?
Hey, no, I was just gonna say before you go out, this is the last day of the month.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't see your hand, but yeah, this qualification. Oh yeah, that's right. Commissions go out tomorrow. Y'all better be qualified. And see, this is the beautiful thing about where we are. All this stuff is electronic now. So after midnight tonight, hey, qualifications got to be in, and that computer gonna spit y'all commissions out tomorrow. So thank you for that, Mr. Lander. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good day.